Hello and welcome to the official NoN-eSports YouTube channel. I am Cadoink, and today, up in the top left of Ohana, representing Team NoN-eSports, we have ILoVeChiara, and in the bottom right, representing Team BLR, we have SoLD, the Green Protoss player. This is game number 3 in the StarCraft 2 Clan League. Best of 3, this is the final game. Whoever wins this will take a match point for their team. So Chiara needs to win this in order to give NoN-eSports a point. So in game number 1, we had SoLD won it with a nice Colossus attack into a nice High Templar attack. And in game number 2, he tried to 4-gate, and Chiara held it very beautifully, and then just kind of took advantage of the advantage SoLD gave him with failing that 4-gate, and pushed forward and managed to hit off some great snipes and kill his opponent. So in game number 3, I suspect both players will be playing fairly safe. SoLD most likely will be going for more of an expand game, probably a 1-gate expand like he did in game number 1, as that worked out very well for him. And Chiara, interestingly enough, is not going for the command center first that he did in game number 2 that worked so well for him. He's going to be getting that barracks as well as a gas. So this isn't a gasless expand. It looks like a regular 12 racks 13 gas. And tried to put down. Yeah, he did manage to put down the supply depot. But this probe is actually doing a lot of damage to it. Can't really get the. There we go. The health bar to pop up. The probe's gonna kill it. Oh man, the probe kills it right before the SCV comes to start working on it. And a nice little TT from ILoVeChiara. So the probe is gonna get in and scout that gas, which is the huge thing Chiara didn't want him to see. Now SoLD knows that gas is finished. He knows something's up, and knows it's most likely gonna be a 1-base play. I suspect we'll see a factory go down. Might be going for Banshee play, maybe some Hellion. There's a really cool Hellion Marauder build that I kind of like. I like to see. And we'll see what SoLD decides to do in response to this. He's going to be chrono boosting his Warp Gate just to make sure it gets out a little early and he can defend a bunch of things. He's going to be sending a Zealot forward to guard that ramp. And is he going to be going for the expand? That is the big question I have on my mind today. We have a probe moving out at this time. Yeah, I think indeed he's saving up 400 minerals. We'll be getting that Nexus up. So, could work very much in his favor, as he will definitely have the economic lead. I'm sure he was thrilled to see that his opponent is not going for a CZ first or anything like that. And yeah, we have a double Hellion coming out. This is interesting. We see this most commonly in TVZ, but it tends to work in TvP. There's some nice things you can do. You can still kill probes. The reason it doesn't work as well is generally Protoss armies can just kind of force field your Hellions into bad position, and Hellions aren't really good against anything but workers. Against probes, they're kind of okay against Zealots. They're not too good against sentries or stalkers. So we'll have to see how this works out. There's currently a sentry coming out for ILoVeChiara. He wants to make sure he can force field if he needs to. And for SoLD. And Chiara is, on the other hand, getting his command center up. So he will expand behind this. I like this. It's not any kind of 1-base all-in. He wants to make sure he has an economy to fall back on. And oh no, SoLD moving forward. He is going to see these double Hellions. The Zealot should die here. And in fact, we see, yes, it does go down. But Chiara has kind of showed his hand. SoLD knows that there are Hellions on the map, and so he's kind of pulling his probes. No, he's not. They're just going back. He's probably going to get a few more sentries just to make sure he can force field. Like, if those Hellions can't get up the ramp and there are no probes here, the Hellions can't do anything. They won't kill this. Yeah, we see SoLD. He's rallying his probes to his main. So he doesn't want to lose any probes. These Hellions are going to try to poke up, and the Stalkers and Sentry should be able to kill them, and so he will have to pull back. We have 4 Hellions on the map in total and 2 more on the way. They are going to be able to do a little bit more damage to this army and kill probes a little bit quicker, but if SoLD is being extremely cautious with these probes, I don't think that he will lose that many of them. In fact, we see a pylon that's going to be going down here, kind of help control space a little bit. The less there is for Hellions to maneuver around, the kind of better. So we will be moving forward, and oh man, great force fields by SoLD, catching that Hellion off guard and picking it off. Now there are only 5 Hellions on the map, and so the Hellion thing's kind of shut down, which is fine. Chirea is just going to be moving in, taking his expansion, and getting up 3 barracks, and since he has that factory done, he can get a pretty early starport. I like this. I like this kind of play you can fall back on, and then you can use the Hellions to, of course, scout around. So even though he didn't get any probes off, things are looking pretty good. In the income tab, they're sitting in about the same income. Armies are about the same. SoLD a little bit ahead on probes, but of course he got his Nexus up a lot earlier. So things are looking very, very good for Chirea. He's going to be getting that stem first, and then most likely combat shield after that. He's getting his engineering bay as well, we can see in the production tab. Most likely going to get +1 attack, and then move on to +1 armor. And once again, Chirea favoring that heavy marine army, not getting early marauders. When I play, I like to get 2 marines and then get a marauder, generally, when I... just to deal with early stalker play, things like that, early zealots. If I get that concussive shell out, I can kill zealots a lot easier. But he's going to have medevacs up, so medevacs are going to be very, very good for his army. He'll be able to stem. That's one of the benefits of getting stem early and medevacs early. If you get stem and not medevacs, it's not as good. It's not as good because you can stem your army, it kind of weakens them, and you don't have medevacs to heal them. So I like this play, getting stem kind of correlated with your medevac transition. And now he can get his +1 combat, or his combat shield. In SoLD's base, we see that he does have the robotics bay finished. He's going to be getting up that Colossi after this observer finishes, and starting his thermal lance as well, chrono boosting that, usual things. But Colossus is not going to be out for a while, and this little Terran Marine Hellion army is going to be moving forward. He can use the medevacs to actually pick up the Hellions and put them in the natural or even the main, while the Marines kind of poke up at the ramp. So he's going to be stemming forward. He sees that none of the sentries are really in position, but they do manage to get their force fields out regardless. And now he's going to try to lift up. Wow, some great lifts with the medevacs. Trying to pick off that Immortal. It looks like he might be able to get it. The Hellions moving forward. This is one of the advantages of stem, but uh-oh, here's the Colossus, and now he will have to pick up at these medevacs and run away. Great pickup by Chirea. He's not going to lose either of these medevacs, and didn't lose that many units as well, and he also still has this watchtower with one Marine, so he will see this little Colossus Stalker force moving forward. Oh man, but SoLD warping in some Stalkers in a great place to try to deal with these medevacs. One of them, oh, so close to going down. I think one hit. Yeah, one hit would have killed that medevac. That's so tragic that SoLD wasn't able to get that. So SoLD is going to be moving forward, trying to put on some pressure of his own, as there's not that much in Chirea's base, but 2 Vikings did just now pop, and 2 Vikings as well as this little Marine force should be able to deal with this. Stalkers and Colossus moving forward. A nice stem, going to be doing some damage to the Stalkers, and SoLD is just running away, but this is very, very bad for SoLD. This army can stem and just kill this Colossus. The Colossus getting into the orange, almost in the red, and it will go down. Oh, that's so bad for SoLD. Chirea taking a huge advantage there. Didn't even need his Vikings that are just kind of sitting at home. Managed to pick it off regardless. And now SoLD's in a big heap of trouble. He's just now getting his 2nd Colossus. It would have been 3, but now he only has 2. And there's no timing with this, because once the Colossus was revealed, the Viking production started for Chirea. So he's going to be sitting at 4, and he's probably going to have 6 before SoLD has 3. He's also getting his +1 attack. He's getting up a 2nd starport, so he can not make the mistake he had in game number 1, where he had too many Vikings and 2 little medevacs. He can kind of produce them both at the same time if he wants to. And with 2 starports, you have 3 to 4 positions you can build your Vikings or your medevacs. So you can kind of shift it back and forth, kind of meta based on what you see. And so if you see that he doesn't have that many Colossus, but you're still scared, you can produce 1 Viking and 3 medevacs. Or if you see he has a ton of Colossus, you can make 3 Vikings, 1 medevac, just kind of shift it around as you need. Looks like Chirea kind of wants to be taking his 30, sent some units up there. It's very wise because SoLD has his up and running. In fact, he has it saturated already. The probe count heavily in SoLD's favor. One thing Chirea has been struggling with these 3 games is keeping his worker production up with SoLD. SoLD just on the ball, fantastic at hitting his chrono boost and making sure he's got constant probe production. We have 3 in the queue right now, while SoLD is, while Chirea, excuse me, is not getting any SCVs at this time. In fact, oh my goodness, he's pulling his SCVs. It looks like he wants to do kind of an all-in here. He knows there can't be that many Colossus on the field, and he can use these SCVs to repair, to block Zealots, to do a whole number of things. He can use his factory to get scouting information, to get high ground, so he can see the high ground, and also to tank some of the stalker damage. Ooh, and it looks like SoLD knows this is coming as this observer is here. He's pulling his probes back. And he has 3 Colossus, a pretty good number, but he is going to lose his 3rd base in return. A nice scan, and the Vikings getting up, taking 1 shot on these Colossus. Ooh, and it looks like the SCV's in a good position to block the Zealots. The Vikings getting some huge hits, managing to pick off one of the Colossus. A nice force field going down, preventing these Marines from moving forward. But the Vikings are now able to get some surface area on the Colossus. One of them does go down. A nice blink underneath the Vikings. He's going to be able to pick them all off, but not before the final Colossus goes down. And now Chirea moving forward. These Stalkers are in a huge world of hurt. Templar Archives getting sniped before Storm is finished, and so many probes are going down. Oh, this is so bad for SoLD. SoLD doing a desperate counterattack to see if he can force a base race. But the base race will be heavily in Chirea's favor. A huge army for Chirea. Getting these Vikings just sitting at the starport to do damage to the Colossus immediately, but it doesn't matter. Robotics facility going down before it even finishes, and now Chirea is just kind of having a field day in his base. And look at this, a nice little Marine Marauder force at the front of Chirea's base will be able to deal with the Stalker force, and once it goes down, I imagine SoLD will be GGing, tapping out of this game. Oh, the Manor Mule in the mineral line from Chirea. SoLD has left the game. Wow, great game by Chirea, taking game number 3 and taking a match for Team NoN-eSports. So congratulations, Chirea, on your fantastic best of 3. Look forward to seeing some more of them in the near future. So anyway, if you like this video, please subscribe to the NoN-eSports channel. There will be many more videos, many more clan wars on the way. Also like the video and comment below. We do love that. And in the description, I will have a link to 2 things. One, the NoN-eSports website, which you should check out. It is in German, and it is a very easy to navigate website, a very good website. So please give it some traffic, take a look at its members, these sort of things. And also there will be a link to my personal YouTube channel, which you can check out, which is youtube.com/user/CadoinkStudios. And I post some pro replays and some community games, things like that. So please subscribe to both my channel as well as the NoN-eSports channel. Thank you so much. Whoa, I've been doing 3 games in a row, talking for a whole hour. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to casting more NoN-eSports games in the future. So I will see you guys next time.